In the immortal words of Enrique Toretto, I live my life one check engine light at a time. We're gonna talk all things that's been going on with this truck. DPF, DPF, DPF. Stay tuned, let's go. Well, that single orange check engine light turned into two check engine lights, turned into DPF failure and derate. Alright, I'm back. So let's talk about what happened. So I broke down on August 6th. I had my check engine light come on. I had two check engine lights come on, and my truck started to derate. Called my mechanic Dave at Big Wrench. Told me that I needed to find somewhere that they would do a force regen and to monitor all the stuff that has to do with the DPF system. Well, and there we go. We got our first regen going. Man, I hope this works out. So I found a place called Lyman's. I took a couple videos of that. I'll throw those videos in. And by the end of it, they told me that my knock sensor, my inlet knock sensor was malfunctioning. I told them, let's fix it. They tried to find parts. The guy at Lyman's told me, Freightliner told him that they're on back order, national shortage of truck parts. Now, I had been reading up about the shortage of stuff across the United States. Didn't really think it was going to affect me, but it did. So the mechanic at Lyman's got my truck as stable as it could to get me to try to make it to Elgin so I can get my truck to my mechanic Dave. Alright, I don't know if you can hear this, but it's in regen mode, and right now it's 77% plugged, which I don't know I just had this whole system serviced probably 3 months ago, 4 months ago, and I don't even idle because I have an APU now, so I don't know what's going on. We'll see. Hopefully this works enough to get me back to Elgin so I can have Dave look at it. So basically I was derated at 55 miles an hour, and I drove for approximately 2.5 hours at 55 miles an hour to get to Dave's shop. Well, so I made it. I drove from Dilley, Texas all the way to Elgin, Texas to Big Wrench, going 55 miles an hour because my truck was derating. But I made it. I can't believe I made it. So I'll take some better video. But this is leading into where all the magic happens here at Big Wrench. So now I'm waiting on an Uber. So my Uber should be on the way. $57 to take an Uber home. Whew. Thank you. Thank you, Freightliner, though. You got me here. So Dave ran some checks. It indeed was the inlet knock sensor. We talked about it, and so he was going to try to get both of them. Because if you typically, and I got quotations in the air, if one goes out, the other's going to go out. So Dave started searching America for these parts and was having a hell of a time trying to find them. So he found the inlet knock sensor, and he was told that that was about 2.5 weeks out from getting it. So basically I was shut down. Now keep in mind, he did order the outlet knock sensor also, but there was no time of when he might see it. He tried to find some used ones at some junkyards to see if maybe switching it out with a used one would help me get, be able to run while I was waiting for the new ones. Couldn't find any. Found one. It was malfunctioning also. So, needless to say, I was shut down. Talked to CFI, and I started looking for a job. I really didn't know what to do. When the guy at Lyman's told me that there was a national shortage and they were on back order, I believed him, but I was still not convinced until Dave, my mechanic at Big Wrench, told me that, yeah, in fact, that's what was happening. So basically I was shut down. And I was shut down for 5 weeks. It took 2.5 weeks to get through the inlet. And meanwhile, Dave serviced my drive axles, replaced the fluids, did a oil change and a PM, and replaced a seal on my steer axle while we were waiting. And man, talk about sucks. And I know there's a lot of us out here that are dealing with the same thing. My cousin, Philip, was shut down for 2.5 weeks for a water pump. Sorry about the CB. He was shut down for about 2.5 weeks for a water pump. So Dave gets everything put in, gives me a call, says you're good to go. And I went and grabbed the truck, went back to the yard, woke up the next day, had to do a few things to the truck, and the check engine light came back on. And called up Dave. Dave said bring it in. He threw it on the computer. It said that the computer said that not allowable forced regen. He called Detroit. Detroit said sometimes when you replace the knock sensors, it takes up to 400 miles for them to start actually sending the right data and functioning properly. Which, okay, so Dave reset it, and that was that. Now keep in mind, like I told you, I was looking for a job. I almost took a job hauling gravel for a landscaping supply place. Because as some of you may or may not know, 5 weeks of being shut down, that'll kill a lot of people. That'll kill a lot of businesses, let's say, not people. That'll kill a lot of businesses. Especially one truck owner-operator businesses. Thankfully, I've got my ace in the hole, which is Sarah. But let me tell you, even with Sarah, it was tight. And I paid my bills out of my business account, paid my truck payments, paid my APU payments, blah blah blah. And man, it was something. It was bad. So now fast forward to right now, which is September 25th. And on the 20th, I'll have to check my dates. I was out on a run going to Florida, and we'll talk more about why and how and what, but check engine light came back on. And took it to a shop in Jacksonville. They put it on the computer. I called my mechanic Dave, told him what the dashboard diagnostics said. Said I was having problems with came up knock sensor, outlet knock sensor. Came up another ECC code. Said there was a power failure. And I basically drove 700 miles with that check engine light on, and it never derated. So I took it to a shop and had them check it out, put it on the computer. They rushed me in, got me on the computer, said it was a knock sensor, erased the code, ran it, monitored it. He told me everything looked fine to him, that the knock sensor wasn't malfunctioning. So I thought I was good to go. On Thursday morning, got up to go grab my load to head to Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and light came on again. Within an hour of being on the road. Now, up to this point, I've driven about 800 miles again, and there's no D-rate. The same codes are coming up, so I'm trying to make it back home to the yard. Like I said, I got a delivery on Monday, and then I'm gonna take the truck in and drop it off at Dave's. That way he can have the truck Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I got family coming into town, so I'm gonna spend some time with them, and then hopefully go back out on Monday. So I'll probably do another video after Dave has my truck. But man, I tell you what, this sucks. Man, I love driving this truck. I love being out here on the road. I got a good game plan for what I'm doing right now, and we'll talk about that in another video. But I tell you what, this DPF system sucks. And a lot of this stuff on this truck, this electronic crap, it sucks. And to be honest with you, hindsight's always 20/20. This wasn't originally the truck I wanted. I wanted a big nose, big hood truck, Peterbilt, either a 379 or a 389, but I wanted a pre-def DPF truck, and I should have just did it. I shouldn't have listened to some people that I listened to and got this truck. I mean, don't get me wrong, and I hope she doesn't break down on me while I'm talking crap about her. I like the truck, but what I don't like is the DPF system. So, in the future, make no mistake, I'll be getting a truck that doesn't have a DPF system. So, that's it for this. I'll, like I said, I got some videos. I'm gonna put some videos in here of when I was at Lyman's, and just keep in mind those videos are from August 5th, and we'll go from there. I hope everybody is having a good weekend, and yeah, be careful out here, and make no mistake, right now the supply chain in this country, it sucks. And us truck drivers, we're trying to get stuff across this country as fast as we can for everybody. So if you see a trucker on the road and he's going a little slow, could be he's loaded down like I am right now. You know, give him a break. And just be safe out here on the road. All right? I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.